Stephanie trying to pull me off. The cameras was going, ooh, it was that cool. She just said, oh my God.
With fried onions and bacon, sweet bourbon sauce. That looks incredible. So let's have a bite. Boo-hoo cried all the time. But hey, George Burns lived to 100 laughing, so maybe that'll work for me.
Give us a little history of what happened and what you're trying to do.
I'm a transgender person, and usually when you're transitioning, hormones only do so much.
Right.
It was word of mouth in the community that there was someone in our community that did the pumping.
I would be thinking about that the whole time if that was me. I would be like, oh, I gotta cover my fat. It's just hanging out everywhere. How do you not notice that? I don't know, dude. Oh, the ice cream lady. Seems legit. A white windowless van. You guys didn't know they changed their ice cream trucks to white windowless vans. It's just a normal thing. Wake, vape, hustle, repeat. God, this guy's cool. I've been living my life raw.
Before we go any further, does anybody here object to this wedding? I do. You do? You got a lot of objections here.
Yeah. What?
Well, who the hell are you?
Who are you?
Some birds panic. The chickens then experience a powerful and urgent sensation known as air hunger. They struggle to breathe. Some die from cardiac arrest, and some from asphyxiation. Others suffocate beneath the bodies of other birds. Once the hens are dead, their bodies are tipped out and sent to be processed, or may be composted on the farm. Layer hens are smaller than meat chickens. Their bodies aren't large enough to be commercially killed and processed for human-grade meat.
Earth is ghetto, I wanna leave. Can you beam me up? I'm outside on the street. Earth is ghetto. Yeah, Earth is ghetto. The song resonated with so many people. As I scoured the comment section of Miss Elias Sheffield's song, Earth is Ghetto, I was bombarded with the hopelessness of people voicing their feelings about the song. I try to maintain positivity, I really do. But with the endless publications of stream negativity, it is almost a cumbersome chore to have hope. Though, as I listened to what I automatically connected to a somber message based upon the title of the song, I tuned in a little closer, listening to the satirical tone, and was immediately elated. A smile managed to form on my face, and she melodically said the words, "Better lock the doors, these people lie still and cheat." Yeah, we do. We humans, we do that. Yes. Mm-hmm. Her voice is beautiful, by the way. Though, it got me thinking: what is the definition of ghetto? Where did it get its roots, and who does it actually describe? The Urban Dictionary says, when someone is to be described as ghetto, it is used to describe that person's state of mind. Ghetto can be both a noun and an adjective. It is a derogatory term used towards individuals who lack the standards of manners and ethics. For some reason, ghetto is normally directed towards Black individuals. However, it is believed and has been proven that other individuals of different colors can and have acted just as poorly. Duh. Dictionary.com describes ghetto as pertaining to or characteristic of life in a ghetto or the people who live there. Ghetto culture. Hype it, hype it. These two definitions from Urban Dictionary and Dictionary.com in conjunction put a lot into perspective for me. But before I dive into that, I want to explore the etymology of the word ghetto. Etymology is defined as the origin of a word and the historical development of its meaning. According to Merriam-Webster Dictionary, ghetto, which comes from the Italian dialect ghetto, is translated to mean foundry. A foundry is a factory that produces metal castings. In 1516, the Venetians, the oppressors, forced Jewish people, the oppressed, to live on an island that formed part of Venice that had a foundry for cannons located on that island. From there, this term was adopted by other European languages. Since the late 19th century, the word ghetto now illustrates crowded urban districts where other ethnic or racial groups have been confined by poverty or prejudice. This is just a little context, which will tie into what I talk about later, but context is important and fun to look into because it gives you a blueprint of the why. Now, back to the definitions. The definition produced by the Urban Dictionary defines ghetto as a state of mind. It goes on to say that ghetto is a derogatory term used towards individuals who lack the standards of manners and ethics. The second definition provided by dictionary.com pertains to or is characteristic of life in the ghetto and the people who live there. I have had this repeated discussion around the idea that ethics is a luxury with my boss. My boss, Lori Rainieri, for a little bit more context, is the president of her company that she started over 30 years ago as a financial consultant for school districts and public agencies. Her philosophy that leads the way she manages her business and life is governed by her Rotary's four-way test. Of all the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? What a beautiful soul, right? Ethics is a luxury is a phrase she spouted out of her wise well of a mouth, which made me more thirsty to explore this concept further. Ethics, as defined by the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, is a set of moral principles, a theory or system of moral values. Morals often describes one's particular values concerning what is right and what is wrong. I would like to insert here one of my most favorite quotes by Friedrich Nietzsche to further explain this concept. There is your way, there is my way. As for the right way, it does not exist. I believe in that. I do. It speaks to my soul. Now, in understanding a little more about the origin of the word ghetto, which illustrates to us crowded urban districts where other ethnic or racial groups have been confined by poverty or prejudice, you start to wonder, what governs the moral values of those who are surrounded by poverty and prejudice? Code of the Streets, an essay written by Dr. Elijah Anderson, is a thorough analysis of street culture and the moral codes that they follow. Though I can for sure speak on this essay more in depth in another video, and for those of you who have 30 minutes to spare, I would highly recommend reading it. The link to it is down below. What I want to pull from this essay is his differentiation of the governing laws of the terms he coins as decent and the street. The decent, Dr. Anderson describes, are those families living in the ghetto but want more for their children, apart from the primitive codes the street life pushes upon its inhabitants. The streets, the street people, follow a code that affords him the one thing that they feel they are completely deprived of: respect. What ethics is a luxury means to me is that ethics is only given to those that are conscious enough to create such moral grounding. For those who don't have the wherewithal to generate ethics, they will only live by the primal code that drives all living beings, which is the need to satisfy our basic needs, which are for food, sex, and shelter. Or they are deemed to follow the ethical code that was written before them, for them. I say all of that to say this. When I read that the definition of ghetto is a state of mind, it made me want to explore the different states of mind that exist on this planet. Ghetto, I have evaluated, is a state of oppression, which I do feel is imposed or forced upon a class of people. But after that imposition, the after effects foster symptoms such as self-pity and feeling a lack of control over one's person, ourselves. I have no context for other parts of the planet, but in America, if there is oppression, in more cases than not, I feel it is self-imposed, which means you bring it upon yourself. It's a hard truth to swallow. I know, I had to swallow it. But let's explore this theory a little bit before anyone gets in their feelings, okay? When you have feelings of self-pity, you engage in certain types of behaviors. Most likely, you will have low self-esteem. Therefore, will engage in meaningless relationships with others who have low self-esteem. And it's like the blind leading the blind, right? After you search for water in a dry well, you wander back into the desert, more delusional and aimless than you were before, trying to find hope in every mirage. After the mirage has been revealed to be exactly that, the individual feels even more hopeless. You can imagine. This can explain the ghetto state of relationships today, I feel. Next, self-pitying can lead to the need to be consoled, and with the adjunct or the additive of lack of consciousness, you are most likely not going to care too much about your eating habits, right? This can explain the overabundance of fast food restaurants that feed us all at all times of the day because we need that instant gratification that only emotional eating affords us. I'm not judging. I love food, okay? But I feel with this overabundance of availability, we overconsume, and with the demand for the instant, we have created a food market that can only be achieved by unethical, pollutive, and wasteful means. That can explain the ghetto state of our ecosystem. If we are unconscious about our eating habits, we are for sure unconscious about the effects of how the bad food affects us. Off a whim, I Googled the leading cause of death in America for purposes of my research. You know what I discovered? According to the CDC, heart disease is the number one killer of Americans. It's killing at least 659,041 people annually. Annually. In second place, cancer is killing 599,601 people, according to the stats from the CDC source Mortality in the United States 2019 data table for Figure 2. How is heart disease caused? I would like to mention that there are a few forms of heart disease, which I encourage you to explore for yourself via the link to my source I will provide in my citations list below. But for the sake of my argument, let's look into coronary heart disease. According to Mayo Clinic's article regarding heart disease, coronary artery heart disease, which is one form of heart disease, is caused by a buildup of fatty plaques in your arteries, also known as atherosclerosis. This is the most common cause of coronary artery disease. Unhealthy lifestyle habits, a poor diet, lack of exercise, being overweight, and smoking can lead to atherosclerosis. What a perfect setup to my theory, right? So, when we say that the earth is ghetto, which again is a state of mind, and the habits that come from that state of mind, can we admit that we all have a hand in this mess? We have been feeding into the toxic grounds in which we inhabit. We fertilize it with every dollar we spend, every bad comment we post or say, and every bad thought we think. You are the captain of your ship. Everyone is in their own world, overcoming the demons that were imposed upon their lives, and they're all trying to escape the symptoms of that oppression. Ghetto only has resonance by the energies that exist within it. We are all a little ghetto, no matter if you are middle class, lower class, or in the upper echelon of America. Yes, even rich people can be ghetto. I think they're the most ghetto, to be very honest. But the solution, we all need one, right? I propose this. Well, Let me start by saying this. One of my exes left me with a truth that I will carry with me forever. Life is simple, people complicated. I have lived my life by the golden rule, which is to do unto others as you would have them do unto you. One thing that was made very clear to me in Dr. Anderson's essay is that I think we all have something in common with the street people's ethical code. We all want respect. RESPECT, find out what it means to me. I'm sorry, it just was too easy. But what is the definition of respect, you ask? Well, according to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, 2 definitions it provided that resonated with me were 1. An act of giving particular attention to, consideration, or 2. To refrain from interfering with, as in respect for one's privacy. These, of course, come with compromise, given we live in a society, but I feel these are the things we can agree upon, yes? Though, please keep in mind this concept. In order to love others, you have to love yourself first. Can I get an amen? Amen! I feel you can insert respect in place of love for the purpose of this talk, but when you learn to love, respect yourself in all the intricacies that you harbor, you can have the introspective nature that all must garner in order to empathize with the rest of the world. In that empathy, we can see life through a different lens because we see that we are all human, no matter what form we were given by ways of permutation. Therefore, if the earth is ghetto, and we have learned that the ghetto is a state of mind, we have the power to change our state of mind to get earth out of the ghetto state. You have been tuning into Celestial Evolution, and what an honor it has been to have your viewership. I leave you with the hope that you have a beautiful rest of your week, and I hope that the words I have spoken leave you a little more lighthearted and thoughtful. As always, keep looking, learning, and evolving, and we will see you on the next one. But before you go, if you liked what you heard, please just like it. If you want to subscribe to me a little later, I'm getting a lot more consistent with these videos. You'll definitely have one once a week, but they take a lot of time, and I work a 9 to 5. I do a lot of workouts, and it's just 24 hours in a day, right? But I appreciate you all for tuning in, and thank you. Au revoir, bonsoir, à tout à l'heure. We'll see you all next time.